Yes, dear students, welcome to the Gurukul Parivar. Myself, Mehul Magia, Faculty of Mathematics, will be teaching you some basic concepts of coordinate geometry. Now, students, mathematics is a subject of application of formulas and concepts. I reiterate, students, our subject, mathematics, is, you can say, a subject dealing with application of formulas and concepts. And students, once you master concepts, application of those concepts will follow. So let us start with what is coordinate geometry. Students, you have studied geometry and one chapter of coordinate geometry in your 10th standard. So if I want to say what is the basic difference between geometry and coordinate geometry, then I say in geometry we are dealing with sides and angles of any polygon. Why I am using the word polygon, students? Because it can be a triangle. A triangle is a polygon with 3 sides. It can be a quadrilateral. A quadrilateral is a polygon with 4 sides and onwards. So if I simplify and summarize geometry, geometry is dealing with sides, angles, and you can say the other concepts and components of sides and angles. Whereas coordinate geometry is studied along with coordinates of point specified. Say if I write triangle ABC, I am dealing with 3 sides and 3 angles. But if I write triangle ABC along with coordinates of A, B and C, say coordinates of A are 1, 2, coordinates of B are 3, 5 and coordinates of C are say minus 2, 7. Then I am specifying points along with coordinates, so I am dealing with coordinate geometry. So students, understand the difference between geometry and coordinate geometry. In coordinate geometry, we always deal with coordinates along with the points. And that is why the term coordinate geometry is used. Now students, first of all of you are familiar with coordinate axis, x-axis and y-axis, students. This coordinate axis are called rectangular coordinate axis. Why rectangular, students? Because x-axis and y-axis intersects at 90 degrees. And that is why when you take x-axis and y-axis, that system of coordinate axis is called rectangular coordinate axis. Now students, you have plotted graph. You have drawn graph of, you can say, different aspects. In your statistics, you might have drawn bar diagram and multiple bar diagram and divided bar diagram, isn't it? In chapter 15, you had ogives, less than type and more than type. Now, my point is, students, you have taken x-axis, you have taken y-axis, but what is an axis? How to define an axis, students? Try to understand this very perfectly. Say, a line is considered as union of infinite number of collinear points, or I can say infinite number of collinear points unite together to form a line. So in terms of set notation, line is a union of infinite number of collinear points. Now students, all of you are familiar with the set of numbers. N is natural numbers, Z is integers, Q is rational, then I is irrational and R is real numbers. So when one correspondence is established between points on a line and the set of real number R, then that line, students, is defined as an axis. Check here, I have taken a line here. I have shown few points and correspondingly I have shown the numbers associated. This is just a rough diagram, line diagram, number line. So S corresponds to 0, T corresponds to 1, M corresponds to 1.5, Q corresponds to minus 1.5, P corresponds to minus 3. So students, what I am discussing or what I am dealing with, that for every point we have one number, or correspondingly for every number we have one point. So there is one-to-one correspondence between points on a line and the set of real number r. Then students, that line is defined as an axis. You should know this, students. Now I told you rectangular coordinate system. It is a custom to take x-axis as horizontal, y-axis as vertical, students. That is why always the horizontal line is x-axis and vertical line is y-axis. It is always, you can say, defined. It is a convention. So x-axis is a horizontal line, y-axis, students, is a vertical line. Now say I draw x-axis and y-axis. And their point of intersection is origin. Now x-axis and y-axis, students, intersect at right angle, and their point of intersection is taken as reference point, and that is nothing but origin. So we call it as 0 and 0. Coordinates of origin are 0 and 0. Now roughly if I take any point in the plane of x-axis and y-axis, this horizontal distance is the x coordinate and this vertical distance is the y coordinate. So the coordinates of point P are, students, x and y with respect to x-axis and y-axis. This, students, we have to remember. So students, whenever we are dealing with point in coordinate geometry, we have to specify the coordinates of the point with respect to axis. Now students, you have already studied that this coordinate axis, x-axis and y-axis, divides the plane. Plane is this white board. Any fixed boundary is a plane. X-axis and y-axis divide the plane into 4 disjoint sets, and each such set is called quadrant. So this is first quadrant, this is second quadrant, this is third quadrant, and this is fourth quadrant. As a convention, we start from this as first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, and fourth quadrant. In first quadrant, you know the values of x and y both are positive. In second quadrant, this is negative side of x-axis, so x is negative, y positive. Third quadrant, negative x and negative y, so both coordinates negative. And fourth quadrant, x positive and y negative. So in this way, we can determine the numerical signs, students, of the points in the respective quadrants. So quadrants are nothing but disjoint sets which are formed by the rectangular coordinate system. Now students, the first and the basic aspect of coordinate geometry is distance formula. And I suppose all of you are familiar with distance formula. You have studied in your 10th standard. So if I want to calculate distance between any two given points, then I have to use the distance formula. Let us summarize, students. What is the distance formula? Say, students, I am given any 2 points, A 5, 4 and B 3, 2. Say we are given any 2 points, A 5, 4 and B 3, 2. Now students, if I want to find distance between these 2 points, that is distance AB. Now as soon as I say distance, distance is always positive. Say distance from Bhavnagar to Ahmedabad or Ahmedabad to Bhavnagar, when I consider taking any one as starting and another as ending point, students, distance is always positive. So whenever I say distance, the answer of distance is always positive. So if I apply the distance formula, considering this point as x1, y1 and this point as x2, y2. You know the formula to find distance. Distance AB is equal to square root of x1 minus x2 or x2 minus x1. It is same thing, plus y1 minus y2 or y2 minus y1 square. Distance is always positive, so even if I take the formula as x1 minus x2 or x2 minus x1, I am going to square it, and square is always a positive value. Square of a real number, student, it is always a value which is positive or minimum 0. So if I am going to apply the distance formula, 5 minus 3 the whole square plus 4 minus 2 the whole square. 5 minus 3, 2 square is 4, and 4 minus 2, 2 square is 4. So this is root 8. 8 is 4 into 2, so this is 2 root 2 units. Unit, students. Distance is always measured in definite units. So I write the distance is 2 root 2 units. So students, given any 2 points in the plane whose general coordinates are say ax1 y1 and bx2 y2, then definitely, students, we can apply the distance formula, which is in the form distance AB is equal to square root of x1 minus x2 the whole square plus y1 minus y2 the whole square. So this formula, students, will give us the distance between any 2 points given in the plane of coordinate axis. Now, students, in your 10th standard you have studied, if I take any point on x-axis, its y coordinate will be 0. So general point on x-axis is x comma 0, and if I take any point on y-axis, its x coordinate will be 0. So general point on y-axis is always written in the form of 0 comma y. Clear, students? So this is very important. This is distance formula in R2. Now, students, same way we can have distance formula in R3. In physics, sometimes you may use the distance formula in R3. Some important concepts of vectors will be taught. So if I want to generalize the same formula in R3, we can generalize, but for the time being, I am restricting myself to only R2 system. So students, this is the basic distance formula. Now, students, we are switching over to one very important concept, and that is line. Now, students, whenever I say line, it is always straight. I did not add this straight line. Line is always straight. Now, you have studied simultaneous linear equations in your 10th standard, students, and the general form of a simultaneous linear equation. Students, carefully understand the general form of a simultaneous linear equation is ax plus by plus c is equal to 0, where we write a square plus b square not equal to 0. This was the general form of a simultaneous linear equation in 2 variables, x and y. Now, why, students, a square plus b square not equal to 0? Did you ever notice this? Did you understand this? Did you check it conceptually? If squares of 2 numbers add to 0, then definitely both the numbers are 0. So if a square plus b square is equal to 0, it is only in one condition, when a and b both are 0. Students, when a is 0, b is 0, in this equation, if I take 0 into x plus 0 into y, automatically I will get c is equal to 0, and the equation vanishes. That is why, students, here it is written a square plus b square not equal to 0. At a time a and b are not 0, either a can be 0 or b can be 0. And the graph of linear equation in 2 variables is always a line. And that is why when I graph a linear equation of the form ax plus by plus c is equal to 0, I am going to get a line. Let us check with a very simple equation. Suppose I have the equation x plus y minus 5 is equal to 0. Now students, we are told that graph this equation. Draw a graph of the equation x plus y minus 5 is equal to 0. If I compare with ax plus by plus c is equal to 0, I will get a is equal to 1. I will get b is equal to 1. And I am getting c is equal to minus 5. So let us make x or y a subject of formula. I am making y a subject of formula. So I will get y is equal to 5 minus x. Now suppose I am taking different values of x and writing corresponding y. When x is 2, 5 minus 2, y is 3. When x is 3, 5 minus 3, y is 2. When x is 4, y is 1. Students, in your geometry, you would have been taught minimum 2 points are required to characterize a line. A line is characterized by at least 2 points. So if I have 2 distinct points in a plane, definitely we can draw a line passing through these 2 points. But if there is 1 point in the plane, students, remember, infinite number of lines can pass through that 1 point. But if I am given 2 distinct points, a unique line passes. Now if I graph this in this equation, see, this is x and this is y. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When x is 2, y is 3. When x is 3, y is 2. When x is 4, y is 1. So if I join these 3 points, students, I am getting this line. So what is the fundamental aspect of graph? Students, ax plus by plus c is equal to 0 is called a linear equation in 2 variables. Why linear? Because the powers of x and y are 1. Now the graph of any linear equation in 2 variables, say xy, is always a line. I did not say straight line, line is always a straight. So now you can very easily understand that when we graph a simultaneous linear equation in 2 variables, we get a line. So the most important basic concept of line. Now if I flip-flop the concepts and state in terms of coordinate geometry, then I can say the general equation of a line. In general equation of a line is ax plus by plus c is equal to 0, such that a square plus b square not equal to 0, because if a and b at a time are 0, the equation vanishes. So this is general equation of a line, and definitely the graph of linear equation in 2 variables is a line. Now students, other important aspects of line. What is slope of a line? This is of very high importance in terms of mathematics, physics, everywhere in practice. Now students, let us understand this with a practical example. Say, all of you would have been to Ghoga Circle. A practical example I am giving. Those who are living in Bhavnagar definitely would have come across Ghoga Circle area. Now from Ghoga Circle, say you are moving to Rupani Circle. If you have carefully observed, Ghoga Circle is your horizontal base and you are moving towards Rupani Circle. That road is bit inclined. It is bit inclined. It is not a straight road if you have observed, students. So if I say Ghoga Circle is the base and a road is going to Rupani Circle like this, students. So this road makes some angle like this with the horizontal, that is Ghoga Circle. That is called slope of a line. So whenever I draw a line, say if I extend this line like this line makes some angle with the horizontal axis, which is x-axis. And suppose this angle is theta. Now don't be allergic to the word theta. I am denoting the angle by theta. Then theta is instrumental in deciding slope of a line. So slope is always, students, concerned with respect to angle. So whenever I say what is slope of a line, then in general we can say whenever a line is drawn, a line will make some angle with respect to horizontal axis, which is x-axis, and when we deal that angle, it is in terms of slope. So if we want to find slope of a line, then students, there are three ways to define slope of a line. So let us discuss how to find slope of a line. So all of you, I think, have understood slope is always concerned with respect to the angle made with horizontal surface. Say suppose this is y-axis, this is x-axis, and this is any line. And suppose I have 2 points on the line. Let us take that line x plus y is equal to 5. So when x is 2, y is 3. And when x is 4, y was 1. I am considering this line x plus y is equal to 5. So this angle is theta. This is x-axis, y-axis. Theta is associated to slope. Now students, there are three methods to define slope. If you are given 2 points on a line, then we can easily find the slope. And slope is generally denoted by a symbol small n. y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. So I consider this point as say x1 y1 and this point as x2 y2. Any one point as x1 y1, another as x2 y2. Then y2 minus y1. So it is 3 minus 1 upon 2 minus 4. So this is 2 upon minus 2. So the answer is what? Minus 1. Sorry. So in general, slope, students, in mathematics we are not only defining slope, we are interested in finding slope. So slope is always associated with that angle made with horizontal. So whenever I want to find slope of a line, and if I am given 2 points on a line, then I can easily find the slope by taking a ratio of difference of y coordinate upon difference of x coordinate. Now students, this is the first method. Now second method is dealing with angle. Suppose this angle, suppose I am taking, I don't know what is this angle, suppose this angle is 45. Then slope of the line is given by tan of the angle, and all of you know that tan 45 is nothing but 1. So the second method to define slope. Now if 2 points on a line are not given, instead of 2 points you are told that line makes an angle of theta is equal to 45 with positive direction of x-axis, then slope is defined as tan of that angle. All of you have studied trigonometric functions, you know basic sine, cos, tan functions. So tan of theta, as per our example, tan of 45 will be giving slope, and then the slope comes out to be n is equal to 1. So this is just an example, and I have taken this angle roughly. And the third method is also there to find a slope, where only you can say we are taking ratio of the coefficient of x and y. So the third method, suppose I am given a line in this form, 2x plus 5y is equal to 7. A is 2, b is 5. So slope is defined as m is equal to minus a by b, so minus 2 by 5. So to find slope of a line, students, three methods are basically instrumental. First is if any 2 points on the line are given, then we can definitely find the slope as difference of y coordinates upon difference of x coordinate. Second, if the angle made by the line with positive x-axis is theta, then slope of the line is given by m is equal to tan of that theta. And third, if I am knowing the basic equation of the line, then the slope is defined as m is equal to minus of a by b, where a is coefficient of x and b is coefficient of y. So students, this is how we define slope. So slope is very important concept in mathematics, students. I know this is a topic which is in general useful to all, so students try to understand. Now students, another form of the line which is basically derived on this ax plus by plus c is equal to 0, that form of the line is also very very important, students. And that form of the line is derived from standard form, which is very useful in physics, in chemistry also, and in basic mathematics. Say I carry forward with the same example, x plus y is equal to 5. Then y is written as minus x plus 5. If I compare this with mx plus c, then m is slope, m is minus 1. Check slope, we have already got previously minus 1. And this 5 is called y-intercept. Students, 5 is called y-intercept, and that is again a very very important criteria. This 5 is called y-intercept. If you carefully observe, draw the graph. See, this is 1. Sorry, let us take only positive. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here 1, 2, 3, 4. This is x-axis, this is negative x-axis, this is. I did not show minus 1. Now you know that when x is 2, y is 3. And when x is 4, y is 1. But when x is 0, y is 5. So this is the line. So slope is minus 1. And this is called y-intercept, which is 5. So when I make y a subject of formula and shift out the x term and the constant term on the right, that form of the line, student, is called slope-intercept form. So here slope is minus 1 and y-intercept, this is c is equal to 5. Why y-intercept? Because it is a point lying on y-axis. Line only, but making y a subject of formula and shifting x term and constant term to the right, we get a form of the line which is called slope-intercept form. And in that line, c is always y-intercept. So students, this is also very important. Let us summarize all the things in nutshell, and remaining aspects we will discuss in the next lecture. Now first, students, whatever we have discussed, we are summarizing. What is an axis? When there is one-to-one correspondence between points on a line and the set of real number r, then that line becomes an axis. So we can say that every axis is a line, but every line need not be an axis. Then students, you have been using x-axis and y-axis. X-axis is conventionally a horizontal line, y-axis is a vertical line. They intersect at 90 degree and their point of intersection is origin. That is why that system is called rectangular coordinate system. Then x-axis and y-axis divides the plane into 4 disjoint sets. Each such set is called quadrant. That we have already discussed. Then in coordinate geometry, we have discussed that every point is always specified with the coordinates. So the first and the foremost concept was distance formula. To find distance between points A, x1, y1 and B, x2, y2, the distance formula is AB is equal to square root of x1 minus x2 the whole square plus y1 minus y2 the whole square. Positive square root of x1 minus x2 the whole square plus y1 minus y2 the whole square. I can interchange x2 and x1 and y2 and y1. Square of a number is always positive. Then I told you a general point on x-axis is x comma 0, a general point on y-axis is y comma 0. Then we have come to simultaneous linear equation in two variables. We have studied the chapter. A simultaneous linear equation in two variables is of the form ax plus by plus c is equal to 0, where a square plus b square not equal to 0. Graph of a simultaneous linear equation in two variables is a line. Then I told you what is slope of a line. Whenever a line is drawn, it makes some angle with horizontal, and with respect to that angle, we are defining slope. There are three methods to define slope of a line, that much you understand. First is when 2 points are given, the slope is m is equal to, slope is denoted by m. The slope is the difference of y coordinates upon difference of x coordinates. When angle made by the line with positive x-axis is theta, which we will be using maximum in physics, then slope is given by m is equal to tan of that theta. And when the equation of line itself is known, then slope is defined by m is equal to minus a by b. Then students, from this general form only, if I make y a subject of formula and flip-flop the terms on right hand side, then such a form of line is called slope intercept form, where coefficient of x is always slope and the constant term is always intercept on y-axis. So students, in this lecture, try to understand this much. In the coming lectures, we will go for the further concepts of graphs and different types of equations used in coordinate geometry. Thank you, students. We conclude the lecture.